Hey everybody, it's Dr. Eric Balcowage. We're back for another edition of Thyroid Thursday, and today we're continuing the series of 12 reasons why you might struggle to get well and what to do about it. And today we're on number 6, and number 6 we're talking about sometimes there's this assumption by the clinician or the client that if you do a protocol, you should be good, right? I had GI problems. I did an AIP diet and this gut protocol this doctor gave me, and now I should be good, right? I shouldn't have GI problems ever again, and that's not the case. You could, if you have a lousy diet or you have a lot of stress in your life, or let's say you take a big dose of antibiotics and you change the gut physiology, and then you go on an AIP diet and you do a gut protocol, and you feel and function better, but then you return to the same stressors, the same diet, the same lifestyle, the same problems that created that gut issue to begin with, why wouldn't the problem return, right? So I think sometimes I hear this when I'm doing discovery calls, and somebody said, well, I did the GI protocol, so I went back to eating the way I was, or I went back to the same lifestyle. Well, guess what? If you go back to the same habits, behaviors, that created the problem in the first place, there's a good chance that problem's going to come back again. So just because you did a gut protocol doesn't mean you improved your leaky gut, especially if you went back to the same habits and behaviors. So just because you did a protocol doesn't make it that you've addressed the problem completely, and it doesn't mean that you've actually corrected the cause, and it doesn't mean that you can't get the condition or the problem back again. I mean, I see that a lot with people that get diagnosed with hypothyroidism. They get diagnosed with hypothyroidism, they get put on medications, they do some work, and hey, I need less medication, or now I don't need medication. And then it's a year or two later and they're like, hey, I'm hypothyroid again. Right, let's talk about what's happened in the 2 years since we last chatted, and turns out they're back to the same stressors. Lifestyle's really getting them down, diet, all the other things that created the problems to begin with. They're kind of, those habits and behaviors have crept back in, and now they're back to having hypothyroid signs and symptoms again. So just because you did a protocol or you worked with a functional medicine practitioner for a period of time doesn't mean that these same health problems can't come back again. So you have to be diligent and vigilant on improving your habits and improving your behaviors and maintaining a healthy whole food diet, on getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep a night, working on your mental and emotional fitness, working on your physical fitness, right? All these things are important. You can't do them for a while and then assume that, okay, I got myself back to where I wanted to be, and now I can go back to the habits and behaviors that created this. I do want to say this about protocols. A lot of times people go to physicians or clinicians and they want to know, what's your thyroid protocol? What's your adrenal protocol? What's your gut protocol? And when I get these questions all the time, I'm like, I don't have a protocol. That's allopathic medicine. What's your diagnosis? And let me give you my standard set treatment for the diagnosis. Isn't that what we give allopathic medicine a hard time about, is saying, hey, you're diagnosing a condition and then treating the condition with medication? That's bad. You need to treat the individual. But then you come to functional medicine and this is my SIBO protocol, this is my irritable bowel protocol, this is my thyroid protocol, this is my adrenal protocol, this is my detox protocol. We're doing the same exact thing, right? So it's not that using the same supplementation strategies or lifestyle strategies isn't beneficial for a lot of people, but it shouldn't be a set protocol. We need to look at each individual person and address the physiology. Dr. Kelly in the book and on podcasts, she said she prefers principles over protocols. I agree. I don't have a set protocol. I want to look at the blood chemistry, I want to the labs, I want to look at the signs and symptoms and say, okay, based on this person, what's the best strategy to help them with their thyroid physiology, with their gut physiology, with their adrenal physiology, right? So I think we have to be careful. And I know for when people call me for a discovery call and say, well, what's different about your thyroid protocol? Well, I don't have a thyroid protocol. I want to look at the whole person and try and decide what's the best strategy to reduce the excessive stress. If that person's in a kind of cell danger, thyroid allostatic response that's resulted in primary hypothyroidism, adrenal issues, other conditions, what's the best strategy to help them reduce that excessive stress or eliminate that excessive stress so that their body can get away from operating in danger physiology and go back to operating in homeostatic regulation? That's when you're going to heal and repair. You're not going to be able to heal and repair if you're still in danger physiology. So we need to be focused on each individual case. Anybody who comes to see me who's got whether it's glandular or tissue hypothyroidism going on, poor converters of T4 to T3, we have to ask what's going on with that individual, because it could be 10 or 20 or 30 different reasons why that person has primary hypothyroidism, tissue hypothyroidism, underconversion. The same way it could be 5 or 10 reasons why somebody's got high blood pressure. An allopathic approach is just to lower blood pressure. An allopathic approach to a hypothyroidism condition is to normalize TSH and free T4. But functional medicine should be about asking the questions for that individual, what's causing their individual signs and symptoms, their individual diagnosis. So if you have high blood pressure, sure, could we give you something that lowers your blood pressure? Do I have a blood pressure lowering protocol? Sure, we could just throw magnesium and B vitamins at you. But wouldn't it be better to ask what's the mechanism potentially causing your high blood pressure? And what's causing you to have high blood pressure? Is the high blood pressure the problem, or is that the body's adaptation to some type of cell stress, cell danger physiology? So this is one of the things that I'll talk about more in videos, but today's reason, or one of the 12 reasons that we talked about today, number 6, is assuming that because you've done some type of protocol, fill in the blank, that you're going to be good. Then that system's already been addressed. So, hey, I did adrenal fatigue-ish protocol, so I shouldn't have adrenal problems anymore. No, not necessarily. That protocol may not have addressed the root cause. It may not have stabilized the problem. And 3, just because you did it once doesn't mean it's going to be good forever, okay? If you have any questions, put them below wherever you see the video, and I'll try and get answers back to you as quickly as possible, okay? Take care.